taking a second. It always takes a second. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are now live on Twitch. And let me get the last little technical brouhaha. There we go. Excellent. My name is Danielle Costello. I'm a research and instruction librarian at Louisiana State University. And for this session, I am here for collaboration and shenanigans. This is Low Stress, High Mayhem, a series where we bring a bunch of librarians and our academic friends together, play some TTRPGs, explain how that play relates to libraries and how we can bring games and space play into our spaces. I brought some friends with me for this venture, so if you please introduce yourself, starting with Molly, and then you could popcorn it off to another person.
Hi, yeah, my name is Molly Porter. I am an adult services librarian in Louisiana, and I am one of the board members for the Games and Gaming Roundtable. My pronouns are she, her, and I am very excited for this game today.
And Amber, if you'll go next as well.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Amber Sewell. I'm a teaching and learning librarian at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'm also a member at large for GameRT. And today I am playing the role of the patron who saw you're playing a cool RPG and was like, hey, I'm here. Let's go.
I love it so much. And then B will be facilitating. And B, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm B. I spoke at the March minicon for GameRT, and somehow I ended up facilitating Street Magic today. I'm so excited. I discovered this game in, I think it was the end of 2020, at a online zine festival, and it's lived in my heart ever since. I'm so pumped. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, thank you all so much. Now, this event is being held live. However, if you need to leave or would like to watch again, Twitch video on demand will be accessible right after we end this session. And if you aren't following us on GameRT's Twitch or Facebook or Discord already, please definitely follow along so you can join us for all our exciting ventures. Links to all the places you'll be able to find us will be posted in chat throughout the session. And for anyone previously not familiar with GamesRT, we are the Games and Gaming Roundtable of the American Library Association. Our mission is to promote gaming in libraries, whether that's programming, collection development, community building, prototyping, playtesting, research, or lots of shenanigans. We're all here to help you have a great time and help your patrons have a great time. Now, before we get into today's session, I'd like to let you know about a couple of upcoming events. First, later in May, we're going to have a Learn and Play with Backgammon. So come join our upcoming Learn and Play where Regina and Thomas are going to showcase a new ancient game for this session. They're going to dive into the game of backgammon, which originates back in the 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. See how it's played, learn a little bit about history, and learn how you can inspire modern audiences by rediscovering the games that kept their ancestors entertained for millennia. And then a little further away, but during annual, we're going to have our second annual conference trivia night in collaboration with RUSA. So compete for glory, honor, and the title of smartest librarian at our annual trivia event. Even though it's a couple months away, it's still not too early to form your teams and brush up on your favorite factoids. That all said, let's get started with play. P, if you'd like to explain how the game goes and just dive in.
Right. So what Street Magic is, I keep saying Street Magic. The full name of the game is I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic? But it's often just called Street Magic because it's easier to say. Street Magic is a game about building a city, filling it with life and vivid detail, exploring its hidden corners and meeting its strange and wondrous inhabitants. And it was originally designed to be played as a single session game, which is what we're going to do today, but it can also support multiple sessions of ongoing play. It's technically GM-less, but like when people play it for the first time who don't know it, they often need someone to facilitate who's played it before, which is going to be me. And it works best with 4 or 5 players, and it's at its heart a world-building, collaborative world-building, city-building game. So we are going to be making a city. We built this city on. I tried to find a good reference that wasn't rock and roll, but
on librarians and academics.
On cool dice rolls.
On cool dice rolls.
I can't believe I didn't make a dice pun. How? What? We're like 5 minutes in, and I'm stumbling on my pun opportunities.
No, it's fine.
Yay, collaboration.
Right. Yeah. So we're going. So since it's online play, we've got like a funky funky Google drawing thing, which I'm going to be sharing. I like keep wanting to get to the first part where we dream up some funky adjectives, but okay, I'm gonna do my best to screen share and see if this works.
Not a problem.
Okay, because I've got two windows open on my monitor, but all right, let's see if this works.
Yes. And while we are playing it in virtual space, and you can indeed play it in virtual space, you can also play this game definitely with pen and paper and a bunch of cards around a table as well. Which I think maybe we will indeed play it at annual. It seems like a fun one for us to all dive into. Because I think one
Okay.
of the things that go ahead, B.
Oh no, it's all fine. I just realized the whole of Twitch is probably gonna see all my bookmarks, but it's fine. I have nothing to hide.
That's
Okay,
fine.
let's
I have like 50
Dive
bookmarks at a
in.
time.
Okay, can you see the it says
Yes.
copy of Street Magic original.
Absolutely. And let me see if I can
Awesome.
pin all of us as well.
I think this means I no longer have access to the rules, because unless I bring them to the down. Oh yeah, because I can just have you here. Technical difficulties, everyone. Okay.
It is perfectly okay. So
Yeah.
just in case, make sure to play test. We always say play test with your friends and fellow librarians when you're trying a new kind of setup, because sometimes these kinds of technical difficulties occur, but that is okay because we're testing it with a bunch of librarians as well. So
it's fine. Also, when we played Cape and Bureau last week, I definitely at the beginning tried to fix something in my background and flipped myself over 4 times on accident. So
absolutely.
It could always be worse.
Oh. Right. Can you still see the screen share?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Okay, cool.
our faces are in the corner.
Fun.
So,
yeah. Okay. And
okay.
I've just dragged the rules down to my laptop. Cool. Right. Shall we get started?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Fun. Okay. Okay. Ooh, I get to say the magic words, which are 2 paragraphs. Right. So I'm sorry. Did you say Street Magic is a city building story game? We take turns exploring our city. By the end of the game, we will have created a place that none of us could have imagined alone. Our agenda as players is to create a vibrant and multifaceted city, to fill that city with life and personality, and to expand on each other's ideas together. This next sentence that I'm about to say is a lie. Unlike many tabletop games, I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic is played without a game master or facilitator? No. The game goes back and forth between phases of independent and collaborative creation. At times, we will decide on certain aspects of the city as a group, but on your turn, each of us has complete control over what we add to the city. And the first thing we do is you will see a little blue card in the middle of the card place. The first part of creating our city is establishing its tone, the color and texture of the setting we want to explore. As a table, let's decide on 3 adjectives that will set the mood of our city. We should pick at least one from the list below, but we don't have to limit ourselves to these options.
Ooh, I love it. Let
me see.
I like airy. I like airy city because then we maybe can have a city in the clouds.
Ooh, I'm so up for Cloud City. Okay, I'll write that as the first one.
I'm feeling either melodious or soft.
Can y'all drop the link for this one more time in the chat? I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had it yesterday and then my computer was so late and then I lost it forever.
No worries.
That's definitely the link for Sunhaven.
Oh, well. That's also incredibly important, my friend.
Oh, trust me, I'm very excited for it.
There we go.
Here we go. Thank you.
I succeeded that time.
Change account. That's the one. Hello. Hi, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then post the session, I will make a copy of this doc as well to put in the resource document, so that way everybody can have a chance if they need to play online as well.
Okay.
Nice. What do you guys think? Melodious or soft?
Absolutely melodious.
I like melodious a lot. That's
Melodious. Okay,
I like the
let's
idea
go.
of this like here's what I'm vibing right now. Floating city that's like
Mhm.
musicians like at every level, all kinds of different music, and then you can hear the city as it's coming towards your town, and then it's
Oh,
just
beautiful.
Is this a moving city as well? Because the current city I have is, I think I told you guys about this before, but yeah, well, we love moving cities.
yes.
oh gosh.
I want to add, because you guys just like said a bunch of cool stuff, and I sort of want to add this as text just somewhere if I can make it work.
Absolutely.
Oh, it worked. Yeah, you guys said like, oh no, is this working? Am I able to do text? Is it letting me do things?
Let's go. Experiment
Wow.
live.
Oh, it's just because it's really tiny text. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
We said
14.
like cloud city.
Yeah,
We've
Cloud
abandoned the
City.
rules already. We said we were going to do this, and it worked. I love this for us.
Yes. To be fair,
Okay.
everybody in audience, we are a very hack happy kind of actual play roundtable. So as you go and experiment, definitely feel free to read the rules as written, to play as written. We like to move around and do all kinds of shenanigans as we play and explore in our space. So there is an actual play that does, I think, follow all the rules, but also I think a lot of TTRPGs, especially indie ones, let you just freeform as well, which is a delight.
Nice. Okay, we've got airy, we have melodious. Did one of you say the third one already?
Bring us home, Molly, or bring us to the start.
Pressure. Okay. I think.
Just what's in your heart right now, Molly?
I have no idea.
You're being very expressive.
That's true. I don't know. The only things in my brain are related to the book Under the Whispering Door that I'm reading right now. And it's about a guy in a tea shop that helps dead people find their way to, the beyond, but like not going there.
Didn't someone mention a game about that at the minicon?
I think so, yeah.
I've been meaning to play that.
Oh man. I don't know. Maybe cozy, but I don't know. Cozy is
Yeah,
weird.
Airy, melodious, cozy. I'm in love with our city already, and all we have is
Okay.
adjectives. I love this.
Okay.
It's as I was reading the rules really quickly, I had one neighborhood idea like pop.
Oh
in my
yeah.
brain,
Oh, let's just
and
go.
this
Yeah.
fits all of it, and I'm very excited.
Right. Yeah. Shall we just?
Absolutely.
Do you want to? Yeah.
Yeah. So to explain to the audience a little bit, and definitely read the rules, get into the rules. We've gone into like we're just playing now. You can absolutely the way we play, rather than inhabiting a character or an NPC as many people might be familiar with, we just start building a city and creating neighborhoods and landmarks, people within it. We might have vignettes where we explore a little bit more like kind of first person point of view, but really it's kind of from a larger perspective of what is this city, and let's start exploring and building and adding it together, which is a very different type of TTRPG, but I think gives us a lot of creativity. So Amber.
Oh, we're jumping in.
You had the idea. Let's do it.
Yeah. What's the neighborhood?
Okay, so it is the rainy day neighborhood.
The rainy day neighborhood.
I'm like tilting my screen back like that's going to help me see the text any better.
I might play around with view things and see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Zoom menu 50%. Whoa, it's big. Wow. Okay. And then anything else that's just way too small because the fit is 34. Oh, that's not bad. Oh, hell yeah.
It's good.
Amazing. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else about the rainy day neighborhood?
So the rainy day neighborhood is a great place to go when it's a rainy day, but even if you just want rainy day vibes, it is full of like cafes, bookstore, cozy collectives where people can come and work together in bean bags, lots of plants. But my favorite thing about it is that all of the buildings have roofing materials that are specifically designed to interact with raindrops. So they have different materials, kind of that melodious feeling, like you can go to different buildings to get your desired effect, acoustic effect with the raindrops.
I adore that. All the songs and like instrument tracks I've ever listened to about rain are just all in my mind right now.
I moved to the desert and I don't get rain anymore. It's like I'm manifesting it in this fantasy place for myself.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna go to page 22 and check the exploring a neighborhood. Yeah, so we've got a title, we've got a reputation. The true name often doesn't come up until later. Like you get there when you get there, really. But oh yeah, for the audience, the creator of this game, Caro Asercion, I'm probably butchering that, has also written a game as a sister game to Street Magic called There Are Names More Powerful Than Our Own, which is all about true names. It's linked in the resource doc. I've not yet played it, but I really want to. I just love true names. Right, so we've got the title, we've got the reputation. Shall we move to you, Danielle?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's maybe I'll put a landmark in there.
Awesome.
So I want to create maybe kind of building off the idea of community kind of creation and building. This is going to be a library of things, and it's going to be all the so this is the library of things for this particular, for the Rainy Neighborhood co-op. Yeah. And it's so a library like this particular library, because it's in the Rainy kind of district, and like it's kind of based off those idea of all the sound from the raindrop is definitely kind of like my idea is put it between some trees, and there's some awning, and it's catching various types of water, and it's like there's all kinds of glass around, and so you can it's mainly towards creating instruments that use water and kind of collecting the rainwater from all these places. And like I want to say it kind of pulls the magic from the rain, and so you can have that like these instruments make the sound of various kinds of raindrops, and so it's in the heart of all of these different buildings, and it collects all the various waters. And so just kind of imagine awnings, but also all kinds of glass with different colors, and like the magic kind of changes it if it's like a thunderstormy kind of rain versus like very light, gentle rain. And the people in here just teach you how to make magical rain instruments.
That's wondrous.
And an address. What would an address be for this?
Yeah, so what we've got written for the address in the rules is if it feels appropriate, this can be a literal address. After all, street names are another tool to reveal details about the world, but it could also be something more poetic. Is it in the heart of the neighborhood or off the beaten path? Is it several stories up or perhaps below street level? Write this landmark's address under the title near the middle of the card.
Okay, so definitely in the middle of this area. And addresses, I think in this neighborhood aren't like how we describe things with people names or kind of like nouns and things. Addresses are sounds. And this one's just kind of like that swell of a symphony of everything coming together at once. And which is really hard to describe if you're not from the city. But that's like, it's the swell of everything starting to build before it actually kind of crests over.
That gave me goosebumps. I love that.
Loving this game already. I've only done one thing.
I'm overjoyed. I love that so much.
And I think actually its true name is The Feeling of Harmony.
Yes.
Mm.
I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but you talking about the wind chimes reminds me of that like one scene in Bridge to Terabithia, with the wind chimes and like
Yes.
how they like spook the main character at one point and then they like symbolic. I love that movie so much. Does anyone else want to put down a neighborhood or a landmark or a resident?
Okay, so that actually, the wind chime comment feeds really well into what I was gonna say, which was that I was hoping to make a resident that is a person that sells like wind chimes from like a little street cart, and like wind chimes and I guess sun catchers too, but if it's raining then it doesn't work as well. You have to take those to the other neighborhood. But let me see. Do I just, there it is. Hello, hi.
I don't know, it's pretty magical on those days where it rains, but like you can see it because
Yeah,
the
like
sun
you
is
can still
coming
see a
through
sun
it.
shower. Yeah,
Yeah.
If this is a magical city, I think that
That's
has to
true.
happen.
That's true for sure. So then, yeah, I think in my head, okay, this is gonna be silly, but she reminds me a little bit of the old lady version of Sophie in Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes.
Yeah,
This exact character has been present in every single Street Magic game
really?
ever, and it's like this. It's the like Street Magic old lady power.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah. So, and she has like, if you look at the little cart that she's selling these from, it looks kind of rickety, and like if you look at it too long, you're not sure how it's actually put together anymore, you know? But there are wind chimes all over the place, and if you walk by, you just hear just this cacophony, of the tinkling of the wind chimes. But it's really, I think it's soothing. And if you ask her politely, she might teach you how to make a wind chime. But it's, you've got to catch her in a good mood. So yeah, and let me see. Let me go type. Hold on.
Oh yeah, yeah. If anyone wants to do the typing.
Okay. So, so would the title be just like okay, so Sophie, we're gonna call her Sophie. The wind, is wind chime one word?
It can be if you believe.
I believe the wind chime lady has a rickety cart full of wind chimes, and if you ask politely, she may teach you how to make your own. We're gonna say she, her pronouns, and
If you don't have the true name yet, we can come back to Sophie later, or
yeah,
maybe we will end up talking about Sophie and then you'll be like, aha, true name.
I think so. Yeah, let's come back to her true name.
Do we want to? Oh yeah. Yeah. How about yeah. Amber, do you want to go?
Yeah, so what's next? Do I add?
Yeah, I was thinking you can add either a neighborhood, a landmark, or a resident, and then I was thinking we can declare a compass.
Oh, okay. Do residents have to be human?
No way.
Okay.
No way in hell.
Then I am adding a resident.
Do you want me to move the card, or do you want to do it?
I can take a shot at it. Okay. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit myself. So obviously I'm adding a cat. And I have my cat in my lap, so he's gonna be the model.
Absolutely.
He's cozy, so I'm disrupting him. This is our model. And his title is just emotional support.
Yes, absolutely.
They, them. And this cat just wanders around. Sometimes it's a beautiful thing. You just see them like sitting peacefully under a little piece of like garden art in the neighborhood. Sometimes they like are curled up on a like door stoop. But especially since, this is where people come to work and hang out. They just know when somebody's having maybe a little bit of a rough day. And it's just a way like everybody in the community knows that's what emotional support is there for. And they just come and find you and sit, and they have like a little healing purr. It like is that resonance that kind of just like calms you down, like your muscles start to relax. Sometimes like there's this myth that the purr changes depending on the type of rain or the building that you're in. So like there's this myth that emotional support knows just the right frequency to hit depending on the acoustics of the rain in the building you're in to like hit maximum support. And that's just like, if you go looking for emotional support, you're not going to find them. They come to you when you need it, as all cats do. So yeah.
I am in tears. You can't see it, but I am in tears. I'm in love. I love them. I feel like their title their true name could also just be emotional support, but maybe we'll find another one when we talk more about them.
Excellent.
I was thinking, correct me if like I don't know if this is gonna work, but some of you were talking about like sometimes the wind chimes are like really loud and sometimes they're soothing. Maybe the frequency, not like frequency, but like the amount of wind chime-ness there is in the air. Like if you're very calm one day, they'll be like tinkly and very nice, and then if you're really stressed out and really angsty, they'll be really loud and you'll be like, stop wind chimes. And they sort of sound different to every person. But then if people are on the same wavelength or in some sort of way, they sound the same.
Ooh, I like that a lot. Yeah.
I'm not sure how to write that down. I'll put that in the little white space. Yeah. Oh, it's not okay.
And I also love the idea that you are experiencing the world like actively differently than other people. Like the wind chimes will be sounding very different. Like as when we go to a city, we all see different things, and when we're exploring, and we all find things that'll like interest us and pique us. It's like the like a friend of mine has a very kind of practical aspect to their lives, and they look at things and they see it, and then sometimes I'm like the rose-colored glasses. Oh, idea. So I want when we get a chance, actually I'll put that in so we have a very sound neighborhood. I want a visual neighborhood, and put the neighborhood back because I want a landmark in this neighborhood. And this is the glasses store. And it is between It is its location is twilight after a rainy day. So like the day has ended. There's still a little bit of like sunset happening. All my addresses are just vibes and feelings, everyone.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what this is about.
Yeah,
go for
so
it.
twilight after a rainy day. It's that cool, like where it's cool. You're seeing just a couple of rays out and then it's done. But what this glasses store sells is different perspectives to see the world in. And so if you're like, I don't understand why you think everybody's happy, you can buy rose-colored glasses, or you can buy kind of blue tint glasses to be like, oh, this is what you're seeing. Or if you want to kind of explore different ways of being in the world where it's like, my ideas kind of connect and jumble and like I have kind of spaghetti brain. So if you want to see the world how I see it, not just like visually, but like emotionally, that's what the glasses store is for.
Emotionally spaghetti.
Can we write that as a true name, even if it's not the true name? We can have like
Absolutely.
contenders for true names.
Well, actually, its true name is because the glasses store sells so many different like experiences. Its true name shifts and changes all the time. So emotional spaghetti is one of its true names.
Is it even a street magic game if true names don't shift?
Yeah. And I'll spell spaghetti. Well, spaghetti. Yeah. Emotional spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Yes.
Spaghetti.
Emotional spaghetti, rose-colored.
Emotional support spaghetti.
Emotional spaghetti, yes. Oh,
Maybe
so
emotional support just doesn't register on.
Yeah. I'm sure they frequent the glasses store sometimes. But no one ever sees them in the glasses store.
emotional support knows what emotional support is about.
Mhm.
Maybe they like to frequent the glasses store to see what people are buying, and that informs their choices on like who they go seek out.
Yes.
I love it.
That's so great.
And then a couple of comments. So everybody's excited and seeing, loving how it's playing out, but also somebody says they must have the best rainbows. And absolutely, yes. Can we have like, so we have rain section, but all the paths that lead from rain section, because I'm imagining multi-tiered cities, are just rainbow roads to other locations.
Beautiful.
Can you say that again so I can write it down in some fashion?
Absolutely. And this could be like a landmark. So this is
one sec.
Yeah, no worries. Rainbow bridges from the rainy day neighborhood, or how you get anywhere else.
Okay. Rainy day bridges.
Yeah, if you imagine like all that rain eventually does create that refraction and all that, like.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. I love that.
Let's see. Address. I would say like for address, it just changes. Like sometimes you can get to Rainy City from like this one location in like this neighborhood. Something like it just moves around. So it's one of those things that's like, oh, you have to, like, if you're visiting this city, it's hard, like you have to have a guide to get into the rainy section, because it's like, oh, where's the rainbow today?
Oh, is there like resident there can be a resident and they can be the rainbow guide?
Beautiful.
Yes.
One sec.
So in our chat, when you look past the rose-colored spaghetti, all the red flags just look like linguini.
Love that.
I saw that, and I don't know who Blibonic is, but they're very.
Oh, hello, friend.
Yay! Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have Twitch open right now. I should. I wasn't sure how to do it, So I
Oh no,
wouldn't-
it's entirely fair. I will toss all the Twitch things back and forth, and we can live in the Zoom land. Oh, they say hi. Smiley face. Yay! I think that's the best part about doing things both live and in stream is being able to see all the different intersections of our lives cross and be able to play as well.
Mhm.
Which is one way of like if you do this game in your library, I would definitely recommend keeping it kind of like if you need a game to start people in to like pop in and out and build upon, I think that would be a fantastic way of exploring a new TTRPG.
Yeah, like I think this is a great game to play with like strangers, for example, or like people who aren't exactly friends or like acquaintances. Like it's a great game to play with friends, but like the first time I played it, it was with people I did not know and we had a great time. And it kind of all brings you closer very easily because it's like, oh, this person made this cool monument. That's so cool. I'm gonna talk more about that. And like I show an interest in the monument because I think it's cool. And then this person recognizes that I'm taking an interest in that and they're happy because of that. And collaborative world building is just super cool and
Yes,
great.
absolutely. And I this is a hack of Microscope by Ben Robbins, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
which has a really great section. This one doesn't include it, but I do like where Ben Robbins talks about it in Microscope. The idea that you can build off of people's play, but when it is your turn, you have absolute control of that turn and you get to really enact what you want in the world. And I think being able to give your players that amount of agency when they're used to kind of, okay, your character's super powered in a world, but still the GM gets to like inflict all these things versus I have now made a piece of the world and it is there and it is real.
Yeah,
What
and it's something like it can't be taken away from you like a character death can, for example. Because as much as I do love the moments in role-playing games where like your character is about to die and you don't have like final agency over your character because of the system or whatever, the thing with collaborative world building games is that you get to like the way the rules are written, like in Street Magic, for example, is like don't step on other players' toes, for example. Like that's one of the rules that's in here. And that's a really good way of saying like, yes, this bit of the world is something you made in it and it's not gonna like be shunted to the side or like be changed if you don't want it to be because it's a part of you and a part of the community of the table. And I just really like that.
Yeah, I love the yes and aspect of this because we've already built a neighborhood that I just want to live in forever.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like I think because the more I play the game, the more like I mean, and I'm about to say this like in the best way. Like everyone builds different versions of the same world, like the cozy utopia-ish world that still has like some problems going on, but it is a world people want to live in, and it's got the like old lady who's badass, and it's got the emotional support animal, and like lots of other stuff. And I need to talk to more Street Magic players to see if they do the same because I don't think it's a coincidence, and I think that this has this. I want to believe that everyone believes in the same utopia.
Yeah, we're looking at all of the same city, but from our own lenses.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
The rose-colored spaghetti glasses.
The rose-colored spaghetti. Once again, gonna need that button for annual.
Yes.
So B, can you take us through how the compass works and like kind of
Yeah, so actually I was trying out the compass with someone last night, and it was difficult because the compass is literally just vibes. Like when you declare the compass, which is an aspect of the city to explore and investigate, it can literally just be anything, which is why it's so hard to do. And the compass I did last night actually was clouds, which is another reason why I think everyone makes to an extent the same type of city, and again I say that as a compliment. But okay, declare the compass. The compass is, I want to just say like relationships between people. Like it's that, I don't think that works mechanically, but I want
No,
to do something about that.
let's do it.
Maybe we should, I mean, yeah, since we're declaring the compass to be relationships between people, maybe everyone puts down one resident each this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm gonna start. I don't have an idea, but I want to put down a card. Also, who just moved the cards? Because that's really interesting, and I'm excited to start talking about that right now.
Yeah, that was me. I was making space so we could have more shenanigans.
Nice. Oh, that's really interesting because what's interesting about this game is that Caro Asercion reiterates that this is not a cartography game. This is not a map game, and a lot of players are tempted to, for example, say, oh, because one card is next to each other, that means that this resident lives in this neighborhood, or this landmark is in this neighborhood, or these neighborhoods are next to each other, and like this bit of the table is north, and this is south, and this is east, and this is west, and the more cards you put down, the more you need to make space, and it can get unwieldy remembering where you want to have places geographically in relation to the non-geographicalness of the cards, and that's like a lot to keep in mind, but I just think that's cool.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense if you think about cities and how people navigate them, and like some people have bird's eye view maps, but some people have like landmarks. It's like, okay, this is around here, this McDonald's, and then you go around past this part, and then some people just have this city contains a jumble of stuff, because I have absolutely no idea how to navigate other than my friend took me to all these places, and so they just exist on top, like in a happy memory on top of each other, but where locationally, who knows?
Right.
Also, how is it 6:45 my time already? I cannot believe this.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So much time. Like, oh, we could play this forever, my friends.
I know.
It's so
And I haven't even put
true.
down a card yet, which is why I must make a resident.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
The resident's name is Ula Portobello. Portobello is a place near Edinburgh. And he uses he him pronouns. And Ula is, I want to make him a robot, but I've made so many robot characters recently and I need to stop thinking about robots.
Nothing wrong with robots.
Sorry?
Nothing wrong with robots.
There is nothing wrong with robots. Maybe we need a robot in our cloud city. Actually, yeah, we're gonna have a robot in our cloud city, and his name is Ula. Ula is what is known as a cloudfarer, and the cloudfarers are people who try and walk across the rainbow bridges as much as they can. They see it as like a badge of honor to walk across the rainbow bridge wherever it appears at a different place, and it's like, I crossed this many rainbow bridges today, how many did you cross? Or something. Like it's I guess it's the like equivalent of being like a gym bro in this city. You try and go across all the rainbow bridges, and at its core, walking across the rainbow bridges is a cathartic experience. And although Ula takes pride in managing to walk across all the bridges and like thinks he's super cool because he can do it, he is fundamentally just a pretty cool dude.
I love him. I'm gonna roll off of Portobello because I want some mycelium in this city to connect all the different places. So instead of a world tree, because I feel like lots of fantasy cities have a world tree, we have a world mycelium, or like a city mycelium. That's title is I don't know if a title would be good, because I'm just thinking the true name instead of title, and that's just connection.
That's so valid, yeah.
connection, like that feeling of connectivity. Pronouns, none. But it should have, what would it be? Like, what would we call the mycelium? What would be a fun name?
Mike.
Mike the mycelium, yes. This is the colloquial name that has been passed down for a while.
Just call me Mike.
Just call me Mike. And so this is the kind of fibers that run the beating heart of the city that runs around and connects all the different like larger structures to other things.
Mhm.
It's also fantasy mycelium. So even though it's rainbow bridges that connects, like, lets people ferry from the rainy district to the other parts of the city, it's the like kind of fantasy mycelium that holds it together. And as well as like if there's ever emergency, like this is how we have phones. We have mushroom phones and
Can you
mushroom,
hit it?
like,
Does it light up?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Like there's kind of like the fungi that are phosphoric, like
Yes.
yes. So
Oh,
yes,
you
if
mean the ones that like glow?
yes, absolutely. And that's like
Ooh.
everybody in the major kind of areas, there's like a glowy board. Instead of LEDs, we have mushroom, and it's great. And when we need to land, the mycelium will talk to the Mike will talk to all of the ground mycelium to be like, hey, where's a good place? Okay, cool. Whoop. And then just so good mycelium instead of the ones from Walking Dead.
Right.
Yes. So this is Mike.
Incredible.
Okay, I am thinking of I feel like I'm on a Hayao Miyazaki kick, but it's just I'm going with it. And you can't stop me.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. We're enabling you.
I like how I said you can't stop me, and you're like, why would we?
Let's go.
Okay.
The wrong group for that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking that so this person is a maybe like tween age boy, like 12, 13.
Mhm.
And he rides around on his bicycle and he's obsessed with airplanes and flying machines. But people are like, well, there's one right there because we're a cloud city, so we're on a similar altitude with them. So it's not like he has to look up at the sky and find them, like they're there, so different relationship with them. But his name is gonna be Orville.
Orville. Oh, I like that.
And his pronouns will be he and they. And I think that his their true name might be that feeling you get when you are on like a carnival ride or something, and it's the ones that have like the drop, that feeling in your stomach,
Little
Yeah.
tiny drop. Oh,
Yeah. Tiny drop. Tiny tummy drop.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to pitch for emotional support. Now, emotional support might feel different for different people,
Yes.
but when you get out of a restrictive piece of clothing, those of us who have to wear some restrictive pieces of clothing for proprietary reasons in front of like the public, and then we take that off, that feeling just glorious.
Yes.
For sure.
100%.
Absolutely. So taking off restrictive pieces of clothing, that feels.
That's just like how emotional support makes you feel, like you find you've come to peace with whatever you were struggling with after visiting with emotional support.
I think my favorite thing is I haven't stopped smiling this entire time.
Mhm.
Like we had,
There's a David Bowie reference in the Twitch chat, so it's just like,
yes.
Wait, what?
yeah, so it's in ground control to Major Mike after you were talking about laying down.
Yes, it's Major Mike. Mike's got an upgrade.
Yes. That's my favorite thing. Okay.
Goodness. We are getting close to time, but I feel like we can go a little bit longer to play a little bit more. Does everybody have a little bit of time?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Excellent. So we'll go about half hour more and then go into our feelings and our
I've
thoughts.
just opened the Twitch chat and I recognize everyone's names. Oh,
Welcome
yay.
everyone. I'm so glad they're here to support.
Hello, friends. I'm gonna cry.
I think my favorite thing about this game is sometimes when you are trying to pitch TTRPGs to anybody, one, the dragon game is always on everybody's mind, and it's like, I don't know if I like want conflict or combat or any of that. And two, I feel embarrassed about like being a, elven person swinging a sword or something in a fantasy world. I feel a lot of people get that kind of anxiety. With this, it's like we're just making a fun city.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a good time. You don't have to like know how to do anything. We're gonna walk you through it, and then it's just the delight of playing yes and with everyone. And then all our friends, yay!
Right? Like we're having so much fun building that we haven't even got to the compasses of like doing interactions or vignettes.
Yeah, we haven't
Right, for
even
sure.
done the
Like-
vignette. We haven't done an event, which is like after the round, and which is why I said in the session 0, like, yeah, there are rules, but they're not rules; they're just guidelines, and that's something my dad always says about everything. He loves to say that they're not rules; they're just guidelines.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Would we want to do an event? I think we have enough characters to do
Yes.
events and vignettes to like showcase to what
Yeah.
the audience what those might look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever declares the compass, but wow, that's me. Declares the event. Oh yeah, and instead of like left and right and stuff, we did the north, south, east, west thing yesterday. So who is the player to my left?
That would be me.
Yes.
I am your
Cool.
east.
Incredible.
And so everybody in chat knows we're like, we're in video and all of our Zooms look completely different. How do we do turns? Like one is you can just let people as they have ideas, but we do know sometimes patrons, like especially the younger patrons, get an idea and then it's like, okay, friend, now we let our other friends get to play.
Right.
And so we just picked locations on the compass so we could run around, which I'm desperately trying to figure out where I put it. There we go. Got it.
Okay. Okay. The name of the event. I want to involve Orville in this. I want this to revolve around Orville. Like maybe like Orville gets his flying license.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
Orville gets his flying license. And it goes amazingly. He has an amazing time. He's like, wow, flying is like nothing I've ever done before. I am so like glad I like worked for so long to get my license, and I had all these people to support me. And flying's totally cool. And now that he has his flying license, I want there to be like sky races. I want him to compete in sky race type things.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
He has a totally awesome time and competes in sky races and is super happy, and is a beacon of joy and wonder.
Yeah.
Neat. And the voice of the city is not, it doesn't embody residents, it's more just like vibes you guys have about this event. So asking a question, stating or opinion, or shows a consequence.
I think that because we've created a very kind of artistic city that's done a lot of like collaboration, the idea of competition can seem as kind of maybe wary or like, oh, this is a new thing. We're not quite sure. We're always in harmony. We're always trying. Like that was kind of the major vibe, was even maybe at a detriment sometimes to people who want to be a little different. Like, oh, we have to be harmonious. We have to be all connected. But Orville's idea of friendly competition and understanding that losing isn't bad, and like just be, like this idea of we can compete in a way that's healthy, changes the city in a way that's like it moves forward in a way that's very healthy for it. And so generally, like a
Orville's
new venture.
Orville's
Excited.
idea of healthy competition, like is, I'm not sure how to phrase this. Like you phrased it really well. You was like,
like a whole new spectrum of light has opened up for everyone. Like a whole new like sound, like all the different areas like of sensory, just like a completely new feeling. Good job, Orville.
I love him. I have known him for 10 minutes and I adore him.
This is a cool kid.
Does anyone have a question to add to the event?
What does his wind chime look like? Like, I like to think the wind chime lady made him a celebratory, like, wind chime to mark this moment. So what would it look like?
In my head, every time he flies by, the wind chimes on her cart all like a breeze created.
Yeah, and they all like turn towards him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amber,
yeah.
Amber, I got one question specifically for you, since you created emotional support. So Orville, at some time they needed emotional support. Can you like vignette that?
So I would think that maybe Orville, in a moment of self-doubt, maybe went to go sit on the edge of the Rainbow Bridge, and kind of just look out, and look at the other people going by on their flying devices, and just wasn't really sure, that they were moving in the right direction, that they had the skills they needed. And I think emotional support kind of like peeks his head out from the cafe where they were like hanging out. And then they see Orville sitting at the edge of the bridge, and they like trot out really quick with their ears back because the rain is landing on their head. So they've got that like cat squinty face if I got to get out of the rain. And the rain disappears when you get to the Rainbow Bridge. And so emotional support just kind of like shakes a little bit, and then like can tell that they need to take like a slower approach with Orville. And so they are kind of just like cleaning the rain off of themselves. And then Orville just starts talking aloud to emotional support because they know that's why they're there. And then even though emotional support is like not thrilled about being in a lap dangling over the edge of Rainbow Bridge, eventually they like kind of climb up, as Orville is kind of like working their way through their process and is kind of coming to the place where they've like said all of their concerns out loud, in a non-judgmental space. And as they kind of come to the conclusion themselves that they are prepared and they've done everything they need, emotional support's just kind of curled up in their lap and is just purring away. And then they do that adorable thing cats do sometimes where he just like reaches out his little paw and sets it over Orville's hand. And they just like sit there and have this like emotional support purrs, or just kind of conveying like, I knew you could get there. I knew you could figure it out, that you were good.
I'm so happy. Like I could say things, but at the same time, it's like I can sit in that silence for a while if
Same,
we weren't
yeah.
on stream.
I was I was conceptualizing emotional support as a black cat because you, Amber, have a black cat. Were you also conceptualizing emotional support as a black cat?
Yes, definitely.
Nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm getting so many Ghibli vibes from all of this. Like I've forgotten, like I conceptualize emotional support similarly to the cat from Kiki's
Yes,
delivery service.
Yes.
I've forgotten the
that's where I
name.
took Orville from, the boy that she's friends with. So mhm.
Oh, what a legend! Oh, I love him. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that dude from
Mhm.
that movie.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Mm.
I'm ecstatic. Um,
Yeah, can our city's name be that happy silence? Like that feeling of that happy silence where like, ah, we don't need to talk.
That's amazing.
yes, I love that so much. Yeah, because audience, there's a bit in the rules that's like, you will notice we've not asked you to give your city a name. This is intentional. You'll find it when you get there, or like maybe it just, or maybe you don't find one, or it doesn't have one, or it's different for different people. And the longest Street Magic game that I've been involved in, me and the person that I play the game with, we still haven't gotten a name for the city. So whenever we talk about the city, we say something like plane goes by, train goes by, and just like if it's in the middle of a sentence or something. And we at some point we conceptualize that maybe the city has different names depending on who's talking about it and in what context. And fluidity really is the Street Magic way.
Yeah, I definitely I think we've kind of reached the natural conclusion of play with that last vignette and our naming of the city. If you'd like to
Yeah.
close the screen
Yeah.
and then we could just do a chat where we talk about what we love and what we enjoyed about it.
Sure. Okay. Yep. There we go. I think I've ended screen sharing now.
Definitely. And let me
Cool.
unpin everybody so we can move pin. Move pin. Remove pin. And move pin. Perfect. Now we're in a square again, theoretically. We shall see. There it is. But yeah, I'd love to talk about that fluidity because that's, I think, one of the really enjoyable parts about this game is while there are definitely distinct rules and explanations for all the different cards you can put out and enough kind of to grasp and help you understand what all the different bits and bobs are for, you can just move from concept to idea to location, past, present, future, uh, just be in feelings land and vibes land and not have to like describe like words at all. And I do love that for this game. Molly, you play with kids a lot.
I
What do you think
do.
they'll do? Do you think they'll like this one?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot actually, because ever since I started looking at the rule set, I've been kind of obsessed with how awesome this game is. And I feel like it could be really cool because, okay, like maybe 8-ish months ago, I had to cancel a few sessions in a row just because of like life, and like I had COVID for a while and it was just like a lot. And so I made little like just talking kind of sessions, where I could ask them for all of their ideas and like, what if we like just tell me what you want in this game, and I feel like they would really enjoy doing this to set up a setting for them to play in like the next arc of whatever campaign we're running. I can see some of them not necessarily being on board with everything that everyone says, but I like that the rules are specifically stating like, hey, no, they said it's there and you don't get to stop them. um I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts, but I feel like it could be really fun. And I think that they would be more invested and not just going into whatever setting it is and like burning all the buildings down if it was something that they made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I've known Orville only a minute, and
Right.
like that entire, meme, like no.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what this game immediately makes me want to do is to run this in the makerspace, because I feel like this game is inherently about making.
Yeah.
And so like to be able to run it, and then like in our makerspace, like we've got the 3D printers, but we've also got sticker makers and sublimations. I'm like, and then I want to run it, and then I want everybody to pick their favorite thing and make a sticker that represents the city or represents their favorite event. And I just feel like you've built everything together, and then you make a thing in the makerspace, and everybody gets to walk away with like a little sticker of their favorite character. Like I would make a sticker of Orville sitting on the Rainbow Bridge with emotional support in their lap. And then like that's going to mean something to everybody who was there.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh,
have
I'm
never
thinking
wanted a sticker so badly in
I
my
know.
life.
absolutely. Like the idea that you could collaboratively build a world, but then keep making in different areas, that jazzes me so much, because now I'm like, I can make a poster of Orville's sky competition, like, and find some Ghibli style little chibis and have
Right.
oh,
And-
and oh, go ahead, go.
Well,
Oh,
I
me.
feel like
Wait.
I feel like I'm talking over everyone. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, go.
So I'm a public librarian, right? And we do summer reading every year. And summer reading is going to start at the end of the month, basically. And if you're doing CSLP instead of iRead, the theme is all together now. And so everyone is doing these like community focused kind of things. And I feel like this game could be like, it's probably not something that a lot of people would have thought of, but you are building together a community. Like it's perfect for the theme. And I think that it's a way of kind of making everyone realize that you're on the same page,
Yes,
Because,
exactly.
you
Yeah,
know,
this is why I love collaborative tabletop stuff.
yeah. And just seeing like, hey, we all want something nice and cozy. So why don't we do that more?
Yeah.
Something that I
think
think, oh yeah.
oh
go ahead.
no, your turn now. Go.
Something that I think the game gets really right is also like within world building, there comes a point where you stop building within space and you start building within time. So you do the landmarks and the residents and stuff, and then it's like vignettes, events, what happens. And in my longest running Street Magic game, the person that I do the game with and I have been saying, okay, I think we've reached our limit with the amount of residents and landmarks and neighborhoods. Now we just do maybe now we just do events and we just do vignettes, and we expand on the chronology of the city, or like we go into more minute detail about like, so we have a museum, but what happens in the museum, and what and like what things are in the museum and what's taken place chronologically in the museum. And I like, and it really encourages you to go to that fine-grained detail when you feel ready to do that and look at the narrative.
I love that idea so much, because I have a favorite vacation. It's Anime Weekend at Atlanta, and it's in the same place every year. We've gone for like the last 2 decades, and that space, I've explored every corner of that space, but now it has all these layered memories of when we got lost, when we found the best bathroom, when we followed the Vocaloids to, a better location to like walk from the hotel to another place. And so it brings me such joy to go back to a location and to have that joy figured out, like how, like you said, like being able to go through time and just perfectly express that for people to create and world build and to layer that joy. I'm just so happy that you both brought that up and that this game exists, because I think when we're doing storytelling, a lot of times it's very linear, or sometimes it's cyclical, or it follows this format of acts, but we don't think of location and then layers on location as much. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Me too. And that just blew my mind. Anyway, okay.
Yeah. And chat, if you have any questions, we're going to keep vibing like this for a little bit longer to
Yeah.
kind of talk about our favorite bits and bobs. I think another thing that I like is the load is across multiple people. So
Mhm.
GMing, I think for us, with definitely within hobby, I feel still that GMing can be a difficult task, especially if you're new to it. But when you're a librarian that wants to go into a like this area of game and like play, and you're not familiar with just your entire background is librarianship and not gaming, it's like, oh, how do I GM? What do I do? What do I like? All the rules and all this kind of stuff. Versus this one, it's like very that burden is spread across a whole group of people, a whole community, and then it's a lot more easy to access and start. Like you're saying, Molly, about your experience where you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of librarians don't have as much, mental space to be able to play a game, even though we want to be able to play. It's like games like this are fantastic, I think, for it.
The one thing that I will say is, since the game was conceptualized as just the one session of play, it can get very difficult after a lot of sessions to keep track of everything. So I now have like 7 different Street Magic boards for the same Street Magic campaign, I guess.
That's so rich.
And now we have like a Q&A Google Doc of it that's like answers the little questions, because you might have noticed that in the cards you don't really have space to write everything, because like we were all saying so much, and then we just wrote like name, true name, pronouns, and like a little bit to conceptualize it. But I think the game maybe always meant for us to do stuff like have a separate Google Doc and write down a bunch of stuff so we can document our world building and document what brought us to what idea. And I think that's great. Like, and I there's this feeling within the rules, like even though I don't think there's anything in the rules that says, oh, this is just a guideline, it really feels like it feels like it was always meant to be hacked. It feels like it was never meant to, like the game invites you to play it the way that you want, because it's about bouncing off each other's ideas. It's about genuine human connection. It's about making whatever you want in whatever way is most fun for you.
And it was so much fun. Like, I love this world so much, and the thought that like it was only meant to exist in a like single session. I'm like, no, but I would keep coming back.
I know, for real.
And I want to keep seeing what Oracle does next, and I want to learn more about Mike, and I want to see, like, we only built one neighborhood. What other neighborhoods exist in this city of happy, contented silence?
I'm just looking in the chat. We have questions in the chat. One is, we said that we could imagine there being conflict between participants' ideas. So like as players, are there any external systems you could bring in to encourage each player to collaborate rather than one up each other? That's a really good point. I mean, I'm kind of struggling to think of it, because there was because in the rules the stuff that's written is just like, please be nice to each other. The game is about like, and like says to the player, like, the game's about being a collaborative, like being collaborative and bouncing off ideas and chucking stuff out there and seeing what sticks and what doesn't, and what you want to have, and the vibe of the city, and like agreed systems and stuff. And in the session 0 we were saying like play is all about consent and like what people all want to do together.
And then we didn't go over it because we did have session 0, and we did go over safety tools within that session 0, which is part of the like early section of the rule book. They do have a couple different safety tools. So there are actual internal systems that talk about like kind of lines and veils and different things that you can do, like holding and making space for play. I think another really good kind of external system is just kind of what librarians do a lot anyway, and that's model behavior. Like, hey, this is the behavior I want you to do because here, let me show you how this is, which works really well in kind of explaining how a play might be. It's like, oh, let me do this, and now you can build off of this or do that kind of thing. But I think definitely in that session 0 where we set up expectations, that's definitely one of the best ways to start with. Please collaborate, and here's why it's cool.
Yeah.
think,
And
yeah.
oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of safety tools though, like the one, like although like that's what I study and what my degree is all about, safety tools are never going to protect people from like if people are out to be mean, a safety tool is not going to do that. Like, which is why I don't think like safety tools are not good in places where like people just don't want to get along or are like there's a conflict and I don't care about resolving it and I don't want to do it. Because if you like, slap an X card down, like nothing's going to change. The structures are going to stay the same. If the group is into the idea that like, okay, I trust that I could say when I don't want something to happen or if I'm uncomfortable with a topic or something, and then they play that and everyone is receptive and it's like, oh, this person used the X card or used the veil, or like whatever. We care about this person, we care about this person's well-being, the play is more important than the game. We're going to and we've all opted into the system of using safety tools and what the X card means and what that means for play. But safety tools are never going to have the effect of making everything happy and good and safe when someone just wants to cause chaos and cause conflict in a way that's actually bad and not fun.
Yeah, that's kind of along the lines of what I was going to say, is because I am primarily running these games with that like 12 to 16 age group, and sometimes they just want to be murder hobos. And I can't tell you how many sessions I've run of various RPGs where like 4 of them want to do one thing and the other one's like, no, I want to fight this person right now, and there's nothing you can do to convince them to maybe like not fight that person right now. So I can see that in those situations, like there's nothing that's going to stop them from, I don't know, being a butthead, for lack of a better phrase. But I do think that in a lot of situations, like if I think about like why are they acting like that, like what is it that they are feeling like they're not getting from the game at that moment, that it is possible to kind of, and not in every situation to be clear, but in some of them, to see like, well, okay, what's not working for you and what can we talk about and work on. I think something similar could happen here, because I do think it's valuable to give them a space where they can work through these things in a mediated way, like not just like me walk out of the room and they're just like fighting, but like I'm there and I can say, hey, let's maybe take a step back and talk through this, and so I think that can be useful. I don't know. I think I'm rambling now, but anyway.
Yeah, no,
great.
that makes perfect sense. And one of the people in this chat knows full well that one of my characters is extremely angsty, and I play her angst to the max all the time, and in some way I think that's because I like the fact that there are not actually consequences, and I get to see how scenarios would play out, and I get to play a character who I want to be different from me, because I don't want to be an angsty person, and I can look at my character and be like, oh, what a little lovely little character who I love, but like she's got stuff going on. And yeah, I think I guess there are sort of like different types of games that can allow you to to feel your feelings or feel things that are really not your feelings, or allow you to have different sort of like what's it called, rose
tinted
spaghetti
glasses.
rose
Rose tinted spaghetti glasses.
rose tinted spaghetti.
I think a thing that I really like about the game, thinking about like how do you collaborate, is if there are conflicts, like looking at those original 3 adjectives that you all chose together, and then explaining how your choice relates to those adjectives. Like
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that it has to be like we said airy and melodious, but like you were talking about having somebody snarky. Like there is a way to tie that in to be like, oh, my character's actions really highlight the adjectives we chose because it's counter to that. And so I'm kind of stress testing those adjectives and like seeing how somebody who maybe doesn't naturally align with those interacts with this world that is totally different. And so I think just stopping and asking like, okay, well, how does this align with the adjectives? Is this like how does it interact? Like it has to be able to tie in some way. And I think just asking them to explain that when like something has come up kind of reminds everybody of the like purpose and the thing that they built together.
I also like, it feels like the game has natural pausing points, you know, and that's good for giving you a chance to check in and make sure that things are okay, that people are okay, and that they're happy with the way things are flowing, you know? So
Very, yeah. I absolutely love they've got like, because one of the rules is like you call for a rest stop after every after every round. There's one question that I really want to get to, which was someone in chat said that I mentioned that people often tend to build similar vibes of cities in the game. Do we think that's linked to the way the game itself is structured or the kind of people who are drawn to it? I think it's the kind of people who are drawn to it. I don't know how to elaborate on that right now, but I really do.
wanna,
I wonder if it's one, the cover like is just vibes, like just beautiful vibes. It's like if you're drawn to that, it's already kind of giving your brain a place to start of like, okay, I'm hanging out here in this very like gentle cyberpunk, not like edgy. It's just like, oh, maybe a solar kind of future cyberpunk land. And then some of it's like Miyazaki-esque. And I think maybe the people who are drawn to it are drawn for the reasons that the media they love is also kind of being represented in this. And so we're like, okay, when you said Miyazaki, it's like, ah, yes, I know that entire vibe. Or when you say like the cat from, you know, the specific cat. And so we might be drawing from a lot of the same places and
seeing hilarious because I'm not at all.
Oh,
like
there goes my theory.
No, but like pointing it out, and I'm like, I like know enough about the references you all are making to like be able to picture it, but like that's not media that like I engage with. So like, yeah, I'm fascinated.
I wonder, because I think I mentioned maybe before the stream started that we're seeing this kind of boom in this renaissance of like cozy everything. And I don't think it's a coincidence that this desire for cozy spaces and games and books and movies and all of that is happening right after a global pandemic where everyone's freaked out and having, you know what I mean? And so I'm wondering too, how much of this is, I don't know, how much is just us wanting to be comfortable and wanting to be in a space that feels welcoming, and how that's kind of universal, even when the images and things themselves are different on the page. You know what I mean? That like comfort looks different for everyone, but it's the similar feeling, you know?
It's all emotional support.
It is.
And I think the crux of Street Magic is like you have these good vibes, this hopefulness, but you have like things going on and people still learning about themselves, and like a place where like emotional support is needed, for example, rather than a utopia where everyone's happy all the time. And I've realized I've gone this entire time without mentioning Becky Chambers once, so I'm going to do that now. Because I must, because Street Magic and Becky Chambers have hope punk in common. And I think that's really
Mhm.
the vibe. And personally, I think I like to define hope punk as like there is personal growth, there is change, there's genuine connection, there's character development, and striving for a better world interpersonally.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hadn't made that connection to Becky Chambers, but like you
That's-
said that and it
yeah.
makes so much sense.
For
There's the piece
sure.
of media we all read.
Yes.
Yes.
But-
Well, oh,
Yeah. Oh no! Just I want to give props back to the author because this is a little meatier than we usually do. We usually do a 1-page or a 2-page, so I think there is definite some structural components that have guided us along with whatever whimsical nature zeitgeist thing that we're also living in. But yeah,
Right.
definitely props to the rules for helping us
Yes.
get there as well.
Definitely putting Becky Chambers in the.
Yes, I
resource
just
doc
put
now.
Becky Chambers in the resource doc, which I'll
Okay,
bang
good.
again.
but kind of to go back to that question about like the kind of people who are drawn to it, I was thinking, Danielle, about what you were saying. And it's like, maybe it's that we all just like, what do you want to get out of a game? Like, this is about collaborative world building. So even though I am not as familiar with the touch points, like I am here to build this world, and like that's a happy thing. And I'm like, yes, I cannot add too much Miyazaki influence to this, but I feel like we're all here with the same purpose, and I can still like play off of that.
To build off of that kind of sparked a place in my brain. I think we're all delighted by each other, and we also want to give each other a gift. Like, you might not know how much we love Miyazaki, but you saw how delighted we are by this thing. And I think it's about listening and communicating and being able to see, oh, my friends got joy in this aspect. Let's keep going. And we kind of build in like rather than a downward spiral, an upward spiral of like, oh, let's keep giving each other gifts. And maybe that's why it keeps going to the same kind of city, is because we want to delight each other and play in that kind of way.
Yeah.
That's like such a poignant point.
Thank you. And I think we've kind of come to our natural conclusion of this discussion as well. I'm going to give last thoughts to everyone. You can start, Molly, Amber, and then B, and then I'll round us out with our goodbyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of fun, and I want to know what's happening in the Cloud City forever. Yeah.
Absolutely, we'll be doing a round 2.
Good. Gonna go watch Kiki's delivery service now.
That was just like the most wholesome experience I've had with the TTRPG. Just like I just feel great now. Like this is just the best way to like set the day. And just I had just such a delightful time. This feels like a great, like it's finals week in academia right now, and it's like this is just such a like game to take a deep breath and just sit. And I have loved it. Thank you, B, for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
You're so welcome.
much.
You're so welcome. Yeah, I whenever anyone talks to me about fantasy or world building or tabletop role playing games, I'm like, have you heard of Street Magic? And I just want everyone to know about it. I believe anyone who is into world building and games and connection is gonna love it. I need everyone to know about it. If I could, I would give everyone a copy ever. It's amazing. People in chat, if you've not played Street Magic before, play Street Magic. And for those of you I personally know in chat, we are going to play Street Magic soon.
Amazing.
This is a threat.
Yes, a threat of a good time, everyone. A delight. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you, my guests. Thank you, audience, for participating and engaging with us. This has been Low Stress, Low Mayhem this time with the Games and Gaming Roundtable. I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.